So, if I look, where are they actually going currently? I don't know how updated these current standings are, but yeah, the middle of the table is their current rank of 5th, but you don't know what teams they've played and stuff like that until the round robins kind of ends before you can, be too judgmental on that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So the next game we've got Space Groove on red, Legalized Sneak Takes on blue, and the Hobart Swipers on green.
Hobart Swipers, so that's the runt team?
Yes. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
we figured that Twinkles was on the
The
Devils.
Devils. And then who are the other two teams, sorry?
Space Groove and Legalized Sneak Takes.
Yeah, Legalized Sneak Takes have been doing very well.
They have.
So I would put them as a favourite, probably.
Yep. Space Groove is
I
the
think they're
team that
missing
is
a
down a
team. Yeah.
player. Yep.
That's not a good sign for them. That's Jono's team, right, Moldy?
Yeah, it is.
So they've only got 4, unfortunately, due to an injury. So they're probably gonna. I reckon they'll play a defensive game with a later dump again. I'm guessing that's what they're gonna go for. I think it's the best strategy generally with 4, is to try and slow the game down as much and then cause chaos towards the end.
Yeah, maybe. Well, they're on red, so hopefully they can figure something out from there. It's better than being stuck in the middle, I think.
Yeah, I think you can try more. It looks like they've dumped straight away, and they're trying to take an early blue.
We got
We got
Tagora's
Tagora.
got blue. Yep.
Good blue take. That's really nice because there's actually 4 blues there, so they really,
Yeah, so
really
it's
need.
good. So we got Traitor, Jamman, and Tagora hanging around blue, and Moldy has gone off doing his own thing around green, which I think they did that in the last game as well. Moldy
Just kind
sent
of cause a
3
bit
of
of
them
chaos.
off. Yeah,
Like,
Moldy's out to cause chaos. So I think he did that. Yeah, the last game where he sent off those 3 and he went and did his own thing.
he's stopping the greens from basically tagging his team in the back because they've got to worry about him. And if you kind of have to force them to make a decision whether it is, go and try and fight where these 3v4 is kind of happening in blue, or do they need to have enough people back to hold him? Really, they should only be looking at having probably 2 or 3 players, and you can kind of see them doing that. They don't want to over defend one player, but they don't want to give the player the base either, because that's the worst case.
Yeah, that's true. So they've been green team have been cycling red, so they're probably not too worried about Moldy getting it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. They probably shouldn't be. They should be focusing a bit more on making sure they've got a good pack lead on blue. They kind of got to think about it as they're like head to head against blue at this point.
Yeah, and it looks like blue is packing a little bit better. They just don't have any bases yet.
Yeah, which is expected because they've got the 3 reds at their base.
3 reds, they're feeding them.
Yeah, definitely.
It looks like Runt's come down to investigate what's happening at blue.
I want a bit of this action. That's what he should be doing. He should be trying to find a nice little kind of spot.
Trying to find where
tag,
everybody is.
a lot of information. And like, you got a player of Runt's caliber, his job is to kind of find where he can impact the game the most. Obviously that's going to be at the blue base, so he's kind of going there. Now I think he's running back just to communicate.
I think he might hang around cross just to see if he gets points from there, and as well as keep an eye on his base as well.
Yeah.
So he looks like he's set himself up at that window there. Traitor might be going for blue. Yep, he's going for his blue. And he got it.
Somehow close my things, so just keep going without me for a sec.
Okay, well, blue is still holding a quite heavy defence. There's 4 of them around, while Zeta has gone out to poke around that top corner. I think he's trying to get a few pack points off green hanging around their base. I don't think he's quite discovered the empty base yet. Green is heavily defending.
Yeah, they've now got the red busyness, so they're kind of coming
so
to defense,
red's
trying
sort of coming to them
pack.
now.
They're like, oh, we want our pack hits now. You've had your turn, blue. It's our turn. And blue, they're not too stressed about it. They're just trying to get as many pack hits. V-Dark getting this green base will be huge as he tags Runt. Ooh, he got. I think he
He
got
got, looks
denied.
like he got denied, yeah. And it looks like
And then
Moldy's
red.
taken a
Back.
double deny at blue as well.
Yeah, but red managed to pick up green, which is really good for them. Putting up 3 bases.
Yeah, Tugura's got both his bases, so he can probably go do what he wants. Get some pack points, or help his
Well,
teammates get in.
he kind of
He'll,
like if you
he'll
don't help
probably
your
hang
teammate,
around and help his teammates get in.
you're probably not doing the right thing. Having a good game though, 147% tag ratio. You'll be happy. Or they'll be happy.
Yeah, I think he should be pretty happy.
And yeah, you can see there's a little duel here, Moldy and Popeyes and Karen, and then Field
Zeta's
joins up.
discovered the empty base.
Ooh, what's this? A freebie? I'll take that. See you later. TJ's like, oh man, I came here for this. Now you'll see the
Yeah,
Blues
you
will
might be
slowly start
telling V
taking
that.
it.
Yeah, they'll start cycling the empty base.
Yeah. Oh Jesus, green.
Ivo, yes, this is Will's format, the one with the stuns.
Yeah, they're playing Worlds. So Moldy just picked up green, so let's put him up to 4
That's
bases.
good. And
Legalize
TJ's
sneak
got
take
their red
7 rest
now.
seconds. Obviously good. Think so. They're still going to get another 3 bases. That gives them 12k. No, 9k. See, my maths is bad. So that's going to put them up to 24. So they've got a slight lead on the Hobart Swipers at the moment. And that's kind of what they're playing off. They're not trying to rush the empties, but they're playing off keeping their pack up, making sure they know they've got a lead, so they're trying to accumulate at the same rate. Moldy's trying to shoot blue. Ooh, was that denied by Popeyes? He got stunned. Oh, green shot him.
Stun. Oh no!
Oh, wait, did Moldy get the base?
He's got 4 shots into
No, he got
blue
2
and
shots
does not
denied.
have it. Ivo, yes, the flashing means that they've been stunned.
Yeah, so flashing
So
on it, they're stunned. Grayed out, they've been deactivated. They go yellow, they have been given a warning.
terminated.
I assume, yeah, an actual termination, which is like level 2 one would
Or
be
a
a red or
warning,
something.
maybe.
And the warning's
Well, the
yellow.
other, there's a whole team that's red.
Yeah,
I think,
true. Maybe it's a bigger red, I don't know.
I think
Someone,
maybe it was
someone
yellow for
cheat
longer,
for
because
us.
I remember seeing one yesterday where they flashed yellow and then was just deactivated for a while. So I'm
Yeah,
not
okay.
sure what the system is there for the terminations. But if the player's icon is black, it means they need to reload.
Oh, yep. I'm just trying to see if I can... So, like, Tiger there.
Yep, Tiger, maybe Popeyes? No, not Popeyes, but Tiger there went reload.
The blue deactivated kind of looks black, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's quite dark.
Probably something they can...
Probably more noticeable with the green icons when it goes black.
Yeah.
Guess it depends on your screen a little bit as well.
Yeah, it's probably something they'll look to optimize when they kind of realize, because I think something like... That's, I guess,
Oh, for sure. They've changed the appearance a few times.
something you've
I've seen.
learned that's like, oh, this will look better or something.
Yeah,
'cause
I've seen a few early versions and they look a bit different to this.
Yeah, they probably looks a lot rougher. You know, they're actually triangles on the map or something.
Yeah.
Got a bit of action at blue and green now.
Yeah, they're sort of spread out around now.
Got some empties to pick up for the blue team.
Yeah, blue team's still got a lot of empties to pick up, yeah.
Another 4 minutes though.
Looks
Who
like
needs it? Yeah, it's
Popeyes might be
Popeyes
going
and
for it
Beach.
though.
They're doing this on purpose. They're waiting.
Yep, Popeyes is going to pick up the empty now.
Big thick line indicates the third shot went in. Just why does Space Groove have 4? Unfortunately, Space Groove have an injured player, so they'll be playing a 4 for the rest of the competition, which is really unfortunate. They were playing a 3 earlier. That was even worse.
I'm not sure what happened there, if it was just not a player turned up.
Late,
But that
probably.
game was interesting because there were 4 players on one team, 3 on another, and then they had a full team.
Yeah, interesting. I was just like,
It's a
what's
little
going
bit
on
wild.
here? Yeah. So I just watched, I think it was V Dark and Green just flying across the 2 panels in that pocket that you can see on the camera. It's a little
Oh
insane.
yeah. Looks like Jam Man's in there. He might be going for his green.
I'm trying to pay more attention to these cameras now at the same time, you know? Jam Man did not take
Did he
that
get
one,
it?
right?
Oh,
No, he
looks like he
didn't.
missed it. That was unfortunate.
Just kind of watching the camera play on that, and I don't know. I don't even know who got him. Kind of got tagged out from
There
somewhere.
were a couple people in there, I think, came in for
I would have known if I watched the map.
him. East
Significant
Coast
green.
switch. You see Popeyes has shot out Karen, and he's going for his green.
Ooh, and he gets doubled
So
with
there's a
run.
lot of action there.
Was that denial on Popeyes?
I
Yeah.
think so, yeah.
I always have to double check.
I think the
Ivo.
player score is probably the most accurate thing on here. Popeyes is trying again. So
Whoa.
Segura there waiting for the second shot on that wall.
I'm wondering.
Good on her.
It's almost looking like this game's kind of wrapped up as first, second, third here, because there's still another base that at red that blue need to get. Is that right?
Yeah, I think they're still missing a few.
So, well, green run hasn't got his red yet, so he's like, yeah,
It
we'll
looks
just
like V-Dark is also missing his red.
yeah.
And blue, I think, have been trying to get into green more than they have been anything else, really. Moldy is still trying to get into blue.
Ooh, I was watching Shurikitty try and take the blue base, but got denied by a red player.
A lot of
Just so much
denies this game, too.
Yeah, there's a lot, and I think that's just I think the denials happen the most in these dumped games, where players are just flying everywhere. There's always three teams around because they're only playing two
Yeah.
bases, so there's always a third team popping up. There's always players just running between the two. Ooh,
Oh,
big tag.
Moldy and Jellyhawk are ping-ponging.
Ooh, we've seen this before, and it.
Moldy and Jelly ping-ponging. And the Segura's having a go too, or did I? No.
Moldy must have got that
Moldy
right.
got denied. He's got 7 shots. Oh no, he got
No,
it.
Moldy got it. He got it there. He got it
He
there.
got
Yep.
it. 7 shots into blue.
I think it'll be 8 shots, right? Because that final shot doesn't count. So he's actually shot it 5 times and 5 shots at denials. Pretty good actually, considering 10k with 5 shots at denials. It's a pretty handy score. And then we've got legalized sneak takes. This feels pretty comfy. This game's 45 seconds. We've got Hobart Swipers comfortably in front. 73 tags on run. Legalized sneak takes. They're doing pretty well on tags. I guess TJ's having a bit of a rougher game, but everyone else has got a pretty high amount. They just haven't. No, I felt like I haven't felt their influence on this game, even though we kind of expected bigger things from them at the start of this. And they're just, I don't know, not playing at the pace the other two teams are playing with, maybe, in the dump game. But that's what happens sometimes in these chaos situations.
It's been a very chaotic game, yeah.
Just watching on the map, I can just feel the chaos as well.
Everybody's running around.
Yeah.
I love this system. Yeah,
So good.
it's really fun to see where everybody is.
Ibo was curious as to he's not sure who you are and thought
Who
maybe
I
you
am? I am Zygorizer. I'm a Dunedin player, and I'm not currently playing at Invites this year, but I will be playing at Nats. It'll be my first Nats competition, so I'm very excited for that.
very impressive that you've come up on the commentary before your first competition. That doesn't happen too often. Players often are quite, I guess, nervous just to commentate a little bit. So
Yeah, I am, but I did a little bit at one of the invites I went to. I think there were like 2 other people though, so it kind of.
It's really good to do the commentary. So everyone gets to learn who you are, and
Yeah.
when you go to your first Nats, people will be more confident to talk to you and stuff. So
Yeah, I want to put myself out there a little bit.
yeah, so I just I'll give you a little bit of an applause for putting yourself out there, because I know how scary it can be.
Yeah.
Especially when you haven't done it before, and you don't even know half the nationals people. But obviously,
I
this is
have
a New Zealand event, so you know the New
watched a
Zealand people.
few, so I know of some of the aliases and the names, but I haven't really met anybody except for the New Zealand players.
Which like comps, or like have you watched many nationals? Or?
The last couple years I've been watching them, so like I've sort of recognised all the names from the Wolf Pack, and I'll recognise quite a few aliases, I think.
Yeah, so what, the last 2 was what, Darwin and Bendigo? And
yeah, I definitely watched Darwin because a lot of my friends from Dunedin went.
Yeah, there
like
was a Dunedin team,
Cyberant
wasn't there?
and Derry and Feel and Rooster, who was Nap Queen, were
Yep.
all there. So sort of watching them.
Were they playing with Popeyes?
I'm not sure. There was 2 or 3 teams that they were sort of a
I remember.
part of.
Yeah, I remember there was like
Popeyes, I
Popeyes
think,
and
did
4 Dunedin
take.
players there. If for one of the teams, I think.
Yeah, I think Popeyes did take a Dunedin team at one point.
Yeah, it might
Um,
not have been Darwin.
the team, the Tigers, was a combination of Dunedin and Auckland players.
Oh, yep. Yeah, I
I don't
remember
remember.
the Tigers. I don't think they did very well though, did they?
I, I mean, that's scary. They're very good players
Yeah,
there.
yeah. It's a new world, but it's part of the thing. It's
It's
coming to you first time, but I think they
little,
yeah, I think they were fighting like WAD team for towards the bottom of the wooden spoon
yeah, the wooden
game. I think they were
spoon.
there. Yeah, one of the more exciting games to watch. I think the wooden spoon game.
Oh yeah, I think I
Oh,
remember that
Popeyes took a
actually.
team to Sunny Coast. You're right, Cyrix. It was Sunny Coast.
I think there was also a Dunedin team to Sunny Coast. It was called Dunedin Gone Rogue, except the one member who wasn't Dunedin was Rogue.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Oh, then maybe Popeye. I'm so confused. Oh well.
Popeye's definitely probably played with people from New Zealand.
I just remember he took just like 4 new Dunedin players at some point. I thought in my head anyway.
I think.
Um.
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't remember. But he
Anyway.
was playing as a Dunedin player for a wee while, so he sort of came down to help train us and build a competitive scene in Dunedin. So he's quite involved with all of that. He's done a lot of good work here.
There you go. Dunedin Gone Rogue had Rogue, Popeyes,
okay.
and 3 Dunedin
Popeyes
players.
was technically Dunedin at the time, I think. Yeah,
Yeah, that's probably
which is why
what I was thinking of. Okay, thank you so much, chat. I am terrible at remembering things. That's
it's a
not
few
really.
years ago now.
Yeah, I've got a teammate who I used to play with because I don't really play nationals anymore. But he just like has this amazing memory and will just remember any stat, any kind of like game situation. He'll just be like, "Yeah, this happened. You know, you got this base and this person got this base." And I'm like, "Man, I was there. That was a great comp." It was
Don't
pretty
remember
tough.
anything else.
These stairs at Sunny Coast were a pain. I definitely remember that. Just
So
like
there was
things
a
like
lot of
that.
action at Red just now.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't
Green.
introduced these teams yet. Maybe we should do that first.
Yes, we
I
got
don't-
Hobart Devils on green, Dysfunctional on red, and Troubleshooters on blue.
Have we watched Troubleshooters yet today?
I'm not sure. They might have been in the first game.
They were in the first game. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I
they won the
wasn't
first
in.
game against a team of 3 and a team of 4.
I think I
Right?
remember you mentioning Fred just before I was in the chat, but
Yes. So that's a little team. Arcane, Minty, the BMW, Fred. I don't know who Geese Tricity is.
no idea who Geestricity is.
But knowing the other 4 players, they'll be having a fun time, I think.
Ibo reckons he was a stat dude.
Yes, he knew exactly the
But he says
person I was
Flash is
talking
next
about.
level for that stuff.
Yeah, Flash is insane. His memory. He can tell you who won 2004 nationals and who came like 16th or something. There wasn't even 16
No
teams.
idea.
But
I had no idea laser tag, competitive laser tag was even a thing before 2018.
yeah, it's got a really deep history. Nationals. That's why it's such a big competition now. I think it started. I don't want to get this wrong.
Somebody may correct you.
2003, I think. It was the first
Oh,
one.
that's a
or
while ago now.
2. Maybe 2001 actually. I don't know. 2004 was at Northbridge. That's what I remember. Maybe. See, yeah, I'm not the guy that remembers these things.
It's okay, you can't remember everything.
Anyway, but this game's going quite interesting.
Yeah, looks like there's, you can see in the green worm there's a deny. Looks like Sager's had 2 shots into both bases. Unfortunately, not gotten them.
Yep. You can see Red probably picked those up as well because you can see theirs just flying up.
They're getting quite a few good points. There's 2 different teams hanging around at red base, so maybe they're getting a lot of deny points. They're defending their own base. So Sager's trying again. Making sure it's clear before they go for it. And Sphinx got him through the window. They
Oh,
were
we got the
stunned
final
and they
shot.
finished it. Good job, Sega.
That feels kind of dirty to me.
Oh, did he not get it?
Yeah, he got it.
Sega?
I thought he did. I saw the big fixed
I
line.
thought he did too, but his score says otherwise.
Oh, well, he got denied, I guess. Better luck next year. Wow, that was rough. I saw the thick shot on the map, and I just thought he got it, but maybe... Yeah, it's probably a glitch.
Well, Sega's going to go try his luck at blue base, it looks like.
Yeah.
We got 3 blues around, and Goofy's hanging around 2, so... Yeah, I wasn't sure how well that was going to go.
Sega has a red dot next to his name.
Oh, okay.
But he doesn't have one at the end of the scoreboard. I think the scoreboard's lagged. It hasn't updated in a while.
Either it's lagged or he put a shot into the base as they were...
Scoreboard timer's not ticking down.
As they were down.
So anyone, guys, the scoreboard is not working right now.
You are correct. Scoreboard has stopped, so he may actually have that base. And it might have just frozen before he took it.
Okay, I hope everyone can reload. It's not a game server crash. Well, if the game server crashes, you can like kind of keep playing, but then you can't reload.
Then you end up with nobody.
And then they have to restart the game, but everyone's still playing for a while.
I think it's just probably the system's had a meltdown.
It looks like the scoreboard's had enough. Luckily, we can just kind of guess who's winning and see who's right at the end. That'll be interesting. It is looking pretty red favoured though. I've seen a lot of people at red base this entire time.
Yeah, there's been a lot of defence happening at red, and they've got everyone at home at the moment.
Blue's super empty, and they're kind of holding this like push strategy where they've got...
Yeah, they're kind of holding the push there.
I just feel like they're too defensive on this hold, right? Like there's nothing to gain with this.
Yeah, it looks like Blue might be a little bit starved for points because you've got Geestricity and Fred and the BMW all hanging out at the back there, not really doing a lot. And then you've got lots of excitement happening at red where green's trying to get into red. So it looks like Blue's pushed forward into green now.
Yeah, I think Minty just took green. Oh, no, denied. It was denied. It came back up.
Yeah.
Man. Rough.
It is rough.
Feels rough because there's so many blues in the area.
It is, yeah. Oh, they're restarting it, I think.
Yeah.
We have code on the screen.
Yep. That all makes sense. Yeah. I don't know what's wrong. Ooh.
They just need to fix it.
Yeah,
well, we can still see some amount of things happening. Manta's going for their blue.
Okay, now we can't see anything. It's being reset, but you can see the BMW.
We can watch the camera. Yeah, he's in green base there. He's just sorted someone out.
Yeah, he looks very casual. Look at him. He's just like...
He is a chill guy. He's pretty fun to play with.
Yeah, you said you played with the BMW before last?
Yep, he was on my team at Invites last year.
Yeah.
I was on the team with him and Popeyes. We had Traitor and Insomnia.
Yep. And you got third, right?
We got third. We were very happy with that.
I'm impressed. I think third's a great result.
Yeah, I'm really happy with that. The year before that I played, which was 2019, it was also on a team with Popeyes. We came fourth.
Oh, fourth is the worst ever.
Yeah, it was rough, but I think it was really good for my first proper teams event in Invites.
Definitely a good result. Yeah, just.
Also going back to the 5x3.
Wow. Alrighty. Well, at least I can read this. Oh, they have the ranks of your score ratio on this 5x3. That's interesting. Kind of weird, to be honest.
I've got a small screen, so I can't read the small text as well. But
yeah, fair enough. But yeah, it looks like Green have kind of ran away with it. They've got 4 bases to Blue's 4.
Mantis is taking blue, and they've got it.
5 bases to Blue's 4, but they've also got a pack lead. Red are doing pretty well on pack, but they're just not getting any bases.
Yeah, they've just got not so many bases. Green's picking up a few, got 2 bases in the last minute or so. So they're shooting up ahead.
Yeah. Look, red
it looks like bases. Blue only needs 1 more green base, and they need to start going through red base. But like we've seen, red has been very defensive this game, so they might be a little bit stuck if they can't get into red.
I think, you can see here, getting 4 greens is really tough, where you can see at least green have tried to get what we call offsetting bases. So they've got 3 blue, they've got 2 red. So they've got plenty of options, whereas you're right. You're going to have blue are like, oh, we got 5 greens.
Blue's got 5 greens, so they have to go to red now.
There's 15 people in the arena knowing what blue are going to do. They're going to go to red. So it just makes it a lot easier to kind of know.
And then red, because green is almost finished cycling blue, red is going to be like, okay, all the blues are here, they're going to go over to blue, pick up those bases.
Yeah, and it gets really hard. It's not unplayable, knowing, getting 5 greens and then like, hey, let's go to red now. It's not an unplayable or like you're not lost doing that. It just makes it harder. And the better the teams, the more you get punished for it. There's another side where if you only get 5 of one base, especially if you get it really quickly, you kind of make that team do something crazy. Like they might just dump.
Yeah.
Because they're like, no, we've lost.
I see green and red now. As Twinkles has just got their blue. Or red, rather.
It was red, yeah. He got it from red. It was in that pocket there.
Mess up the names.
And he's having a good game, you can see. 11k, 2 bases. Still got a minute.
First on the scoreboard.
It's where you want to be.
Yep.
Probably team-wise more so than position-wise.
The team they're having a pretty good game. Pretty happy with that result, I imagine.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty decent result for them. I feel like Four Eyes' team have done this. The Four Eyes Goofy Dysfunctional, that's their team name, have done just this bit of the same story again. This defensive,
very defensive heavy game, which they probably needed to push out a little bit more at some point.
And they just kind of sit there and I don't know. I feel like they've accepted third a couple times, a bit more than try and push it further.
They might try a bit more strategies and stuff when it comes to the ladder, the cascade.
Yeah, I mean, I think they
pull
got
something out, lulling everybody into false sense of security.
It's interesting because Goofy has like 7,000 on pack hits. He's having a really good game. Four Eyes got 5k. Gumby's doing well on 3k, but then I'm assuming their 2 like defensive players are getting nothing, and they're getting nothing because they're not attacking. Does that make sense? So the players at the front get them all, and then these players are waiting for like whatever scraps come through, and then the other team like
someone in blue.
Yeah, that happens.
Not sure what that's about. Yeah, it happens.
That happens. But yeah, and the other team's like fighting each other, and they're like, we're playing their own game, while the other team's like, oh, this 5-man defense, and you just get you don't get good amount of pack hits. Whereas you can see here, like the defensive players, the lowest one's like, I'm probably, I don't know, Sega has a base and he's got denied a lot, but he would have had like a 3k. Nelly's got a 3k. Minty's got like 2k pack. Fred's got 2k pack. Geese didn't have a great game, but he's got a k pack. He's still got the same as what they've got. That's kind of where the difference is in their like strategy and where it fails. And then I don't know how the difference it plays with like the Worlds format as well, because I haven't played a crazy amount of Worlds format, but that probably makes it even a little bit harder maybe.
Yeah, the stuns can get quite frustrating sometimes. Especially if you're like 2 shots in and you get stunned and you're like, oh no, please don't shoot me.
You start like wiggling inside the base.
You start squirming to say hopefully they don't shoot you. Or you've got a teammate or someone who can come and swoop to your rescue. And, let's see, who have we got? This Ace and Guinea's team. One day I'll remember what their team is. Lit.
Ace and Guinea were
Ace and
lit.
Guinea is lit.
Yeah. I can't tell who's on blue.
They're in on green. Blue is Hobart Swipers and red is Nameless. Just looking up the wee schedule there.
Ah, good. I was like, wow, you're doing really well for the cameras.
No, I've looked up the schedule. I'm cheating. It looks like this is the last game of the round robin.
Alright, let's see if it's a good one. I am really liking how the Guinea Ace stack has been playing. We've got Groody, we got My Suit is My Suit, and Arrow. So I know 3 of these players, and Arrow, Guinea, and Ace. pretty good. The
Got a
Hobart
green
team
player in
who've
blue
run.
already.
It's always a go. I feel like the red team haven't done very well, but I reckon this is the game where Big Boss Dog, he had a rough one before.
He did.
This is the comeback game. You know, when you get, what is it, 10 shots denied or something,
8 shots into blue, I believe.
you're gonna come back stronger. That's
Looks like that's
literally the only way.
Insomnia in green base there.
Yeah, it looks like blue went down
Oh,
real quick,
I
and
was
green went
right.
down real quick.
I'm glad I got that one right because Insomnia is
Oh,
actually an
and
identical
red's
twin.
being shot. Everyone's dumped. So this is why I need the map. I don't know. Every base has gone down. Red's gone down twice, and we just lost a minute of the game or something.
Oh, not sure. I don't think so. Just everyone's just left and done everything very quickly. So
I feel
2
like we just
bases
didn't
have
see
gone
the start of
down.
it. Yeah.
Red's got one. Actually, no, 4 bases have gone down. Maybe we did lose a minute of the game.
Yeah, I think we
Because I
did.
only see 2 base ticks. And there's 4 bases have gone down.
Yeah, you can see red's gone down twice. So I'm guessing, based off that, red's probably dumped. And arrow's snuck on blue. That's what I'm going to guess. I really would like the map back, and I could easily tell you who's
They're
dumped.
probably fixing it.
Yeah, they're definitely fixing it. And that's all
They'll be
good.
fixing it.
Hopefully, I think.
Is that a ref wandering around in green? Or is that just somebody with a... Not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe red has dumped, because blue just seems to be cycling red.
Yeah, red's nice and empty. Red have started this with an early dump. We do see this a lot when it's on Worlds format. Dumping off the bat's pretty popular. From any like Worlds competitions I've seen. But I don't know if I've seen a Worlds competition on Helios. I don't even know if there's been a Worlds on Helios. That's not like a... Because I know the New Zealand to a lot of Worlds competitions.
Yeah, Worlds... Invites is almost always on Worlds, and it's almost always on Helios.
Have you ever played Nexus?
Yes, we used to have Nexus. A few years ago, I think we sort of phased them out and replaced them with Helios, because we used to have them in Dunedin as well. Like my first invites I ever played on was on Nexus. The big chunky phases. My hands are tiny, so I can barely hold them.
Yeah, is that not an issue with the Helios phaser though? Obviously,
It is
Helios
Helios
2
Pro. Helios Pro is I'm limited to a couple of hand grips. I can't do the claw hold, for example. It just hurts.
Yeah.
My hands are too small.
Yeah,
but I
common.
love the Helios 2 phases because they're smaller and easier to hold.
The vacuum cleaner. The Hoover. Yeah, no, that's they do look really nice. I haven't played on them yet, so... But just the ability to flip them around and stuff. Obviously, I'm so used to the Helios Pro phases because it's been so long that I can throw that thing around like it's tiny. But
you can flip around the Helios 2 phaser, except I'm also too short to do so. If I try the crossover grip, I end up covering, so I have to make do with other positions.
Just cover.
Like my chest sensors are actually sort of on my stomach rather than my actual chest because I'm just small.
Yeah, that's the...
Whereas, like, if you're long and lanky, it's pretty viable to do a cross hold because you're just underneath the chest sensor anyway. But I'm short enough that I sort of, when I cross over, sort of go in front of the chest sensor, so I can't really do it without covering.
Yeah, it's interesting actually. This
Looks like red is in green there, and looks like they're taking.
So red have been attacking green pretty heavy, and you can see that with how much pack points green have got over blue. Like they're only 3k behind blue with 3 bases less, and that's purely because they've just focused on taking reds. And the other really good thing is Arrow has managed to get a blue, so when I look at these dump games, I automatically count green having another 4 reds at this point. So I see they have like 6 bases against blues 5.
Yeah, so I think
the blue are under the pump.
It looks like red has dumped green here, so they might be trying to get in there, but not having too much success with taking the bases.
Yeah, I mean that's the hardest part of the dump is you get focused, right?
Yeah, it can get a bit frustrating if you can't quite get in.
Yeah, and you really, I think, want to have a really good strategy when you dump, and I think a lot of people just dump. They just make the decision to dump. They don't actually sit down and talk exactly what they want to do and how to play the dump, which actually makes it harder. Whereas everyone kind of talks about what their defenses are. Everyone
Yeah.
sort of has an idea of how they're going to defend a dump. You're like, all right, if a team dumps to us, we're going to have 5 players come back and kind of play this area, and so it's just
It looks
very
like
difficult.
Tiger got denied a green.
Ooh, chain tag Insomnia of 3. 2 of them were tags, but don't worry about that. The funny thing about these streaks, because they're not tags, I mean, it's done. Like how
These
many
streak things
done?
don't pop up on the other map, which is interesting.
Yeah,
Maybe it makes a
glad about
5x3 slightly more exciting.
yeah, it's weird they use this 5x3. Because it's different to
Looks like
the
Nitro
one they use
got
at
double
full tag.
denied. That's unfortunate. Blue. So red's, I guess, maybe bounced to blue and they're trying to get in there. Either that or it's a split dump.
I'm gonna hope they've kind of moved across. They've managed to get a couple of greens and it's stopped working. So they really just kind of go to blue and see if they have a better chance to kind of claw their way back. And if they stay at green the whole time, it's just you're
feeding
less
green
likely to win the
points.
game because you're feeding one team so
Yeah.
much more than the other. Whereas if you kind of, I say feed, it's not necessarily feeding, but you're battling.
You're giving them more points, essentially.
You're battling one team the whole time. You're basically
Yeah.
giving one team all of your def tags. Whereas if you go half-half in a dump, you're giving both teams, like saying maybe not an equal amount because playing stuff, but an equal amount of time shooting at you. That you're actually you're accumulating more than both teams because you're splitting up how much you're giving away in a ideal kind of idea.
Yeah. You see, red must have been empty for a second because Guinea just came in and took it, but it looks like Nitro's back in red.
Ooh, big take. I think Shuri Kitty got a green base, which is really good for the blue team.
Yeah, that is
That's
good because green was catching up to them.
Yeah, exactly. They really, had some easy base takes for green.
So blue appears to have cycled red now, so they'll be going for green.
Yeah.
Which might be good for green. You see they're shooting up on pack there a little bit.
Yeah, and you can see here,
So if
green's
red
really
is...
catching up. Just because they now have, all the players have now moved, so they're no longer,
So
they're
if
kind
red
of
wants to get to more bases, they could try their luck at blue now that blue's sort of gone to green.
Yeah, I think they should be. I'm not too sure. I'm trying to pay attention to the map, but I think blue's just doing a really good job in defense.
Yeah, green's caught up to blue now, so they've got another base. They're pretty close on score now.
And they're probably going to get 2 more reds, right? Ooh, blue gets another tag on green,
they've got
though.
another base. Though green has been packing really well, and with only 4 bases, have caught up to what blue had when they had 6 bases. And they're catching up to the 7 bases now.
Yeah, I think green are pretty even with blue now, because they've got the empties to get. So they've got a 2k lead, but these 2 big green hits from Runt and Shurikitty have given them a chance that if they can get 1 more on Jellyhawk or Karen or Tiger, that
Looks
they'll
like green got another
probably
base, so
win.
they're catching up. If green can
right
get
there.
a few more bases, they can overtake.
Yep, definitely. Red, I think, have not really increased their score for 4 minutes, so they're really struggling.
See, red's trying it blue. I've just seen. I think Dika walk in and get shot.
I think they've just run out of time now. There's only a couple minutes left.
Yeah.
2-horse race.
2 minutes.
Oh, red base. My suit is my.
They just got a blue base, so Insomnia just took blue.
And Grudy denied Paxo, which is a nice little pack influx as well.
Oh yeah.
So that kind of
they
gives
must
them
have
the
split
lead.
up because red just took 1 at blue and now Paxo is at green, so must have split up again.
Well, green's just defending their base, and they had.
Yeah, I guess so.
They got the reds, yeah.
I can see a red person in green, or they've just been shot out.
Yeah, a lot of action at green, I think. Oh, Karen. This is for the lead. 2 shot denied by Paxo.
2 to...
Well,
they could use the deny points, the red team.
They could use a lot of deny points. Yeah, but it's interesting. Just watching the green team kind of run away with this a little bit now. They got a 2k lead.
They
Blue
can
kind of
get
have to get green, but
another
I think
base.
everyone's there.
Yeah, if green get another base, they'll be really comfortable.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if they actually want to try. Not too. I
No, they
haven't
might
really
just be
seen
happy
them.
defending because they've been getting a lot of pack from defending.
Yeah, I think that's the call they'd make because I feel
Looks
like
like
when you're in this.
red got another base at some point.
Ooh, yep,
Looks
put
like
them up to 31k.
yeah,
It's nice
you
to
can
be in the
see
30k.
Dika's in blue base there. So I think that's Dika.
He's already got both bases. So.
Yeah, so he might be trying to help his teammates get in.
Yep, and I like what he did
Um,
there. He kind of ran to the door, um, and to try and get his teammates in, rather than like if he stays inside that base the whole time, he's actually not really helping his team.
yeah,
He's just sitting there.
and like it's
So
clear inside, but outside is another story.
yeah, exactly. So you can see he's kind of moving a bit, trying to get as much done as he
Yeah,
possibly could.
Dika's pretty good at sort of moving around.
Yeah, okay.
Something I like to do too. I like to move around, try find entrances.
Yeah, you can't stay too static in laser tag. It
Yeah,
doesn't work most of the time. Obviously there are times for it, but
yeah.
you need
I
to have
like to
the
run
ability
around
to
quite a
move.
lot.
Yeah, well, you got to use the your size disadvantage. You got to use the advantages of it, and it's being able to be short, quickly run at
Be
people.
short,
Yeah,
run quick and low.
yeah, exactly. You get so much slower that it's
Yeah, a
actually
lot of
sometimes
people.
harder to tag you.
Uh, yeah, especially if I'm paneling, I'm shorter than what most people sort of think. So they'll end up shooting a little bit high.
Yeah, they
Especially
lunge at
if
the wrong
I
time.
crouch a little bit, I might be able to
Yes, that's
get
that's
around
one
the
of the
corner.
better. That's one of the good things about laser tag is it. Your body shape has its own advantages and disadvantages, and it's
Yeah,
not like there's the best one. There's, you've got your own skills, and you
yeah.
can influence the
Like
game
I
your own
think
way.
being short, I'm better at paneling than I am just straight dueling. Especially if I'm playing against a tall player who can just lift the phaser in a high grip and just shoot me no matter which way I'm facing.
Yeah, and sometimes like dueling those big thick boys is the
It can be a bit
hardest thing
scary.
because the panel is so the pack is so small compared to them that they can just put so much. They
I
can
can't
wiggle
just
it out the
shoot.
way,
I can't
and
just shoot
there's
at them. I
so
have to
hard.
be like shoot specific spots.
Yeah, you got to be precise. It's just those small things that make it really interesting.
Yeah.
I think so. Is there a bit of a break till the next?
I think it's 8:30 is when the next. Let's have a look at the schedule.
Yeah, so the finals will begin at 8:30. So we'll start
Yeah.
Ascension. I think
Mm-hmm.
Ibo will be joining us sometime soon, which will be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Finally get someone who knows what they're talking about in here.
Oh, come on. I know
Well,
some things.
okay, you know stuff. I was mostly talking rude about myself. Interesting. Do we have? I wonder if the ladder's updated here yet. No, it doesn't look like it.
No, looks like the rankings are in. So currently in first place
Are
is
they?
Tragedy of Hamlet. The
I think
current
there's
game standings. Oh, it hasn't been filled in yet.
no, because it has 9 games and 8 games. They're not all the same yet.
So barring the last two games, Tragedy of Hamlet is currently number 1. And number 2 is the Hobart Swipers. Number 3 is the Hobart Devil. Then we've got Legalized Sneak Takes at number 5. Number 4 rather. Sorry, Let number 5. Then Troubled Shooters number 6. Space Groove is 7. Henhouse 8. Dysfunctional 9 and Nameless 10. That doesn't seem entirely right.
Yeah, there's still a couple of games that need to be added
Yeah,
in, so I think
maybe
it'll.
maybe we wait till those are in, and then we
Hopefully,
can
we
look at
can.
the.
Some of
Oh,
them will be the same, but
they've just put the scores in for the second to last game, which I don't think changed much.
yeah,
It's by average score, and then there's an estimated number of victory points.
you can see the current standings in the sheet just get updated. So when they put the last one in, then we'll know. But I think you're right. I don't know if much will change from this. I'm trying to figure it out.
Probably not from the last game unless somebody had a really amazing score, which the scores are pretty comparable in the last game.
If the swipers? No, they didn't win that
Oh,
game, did they?
it changed a little bit.
Would have been if the swipers won that game, they actually would have
Yeah, so
got
the
second
swipers
over
and the
the
devils
Devils.
actually swapped positions. So the swipers are now third and the devils are second.
Yeah.
We've got letters 4. Legalized sneak takes as 5th. 6, we've got troubleshooters. 7, space groove. 18, house. 9, dysfunctional, and 10, nameless. So they've started to put in the cascade now. First game will be Hen House, Dysfunctional, and the Nameless. And the winner of that...
What are colours they'll pick? I'm very curious because just from watching, we kind of thought maybe green is the one that people don't like playing the most because you're in between the two.
Yeah, I've noticed that red is quite often empty, like more than all the other bases. Red tends to be empty a lot more.
Which one's the mirror again? Is it?
I have no idea.
Oh, I need the map back because the mirrored base means like that one is probably better for like left-handers and the other one's better for right-handers. I don't know which one it is. I haven't thought about it too much yet. But that's always a big deal that if you have like a really good left-hander, you might actually prefer one of those bases that is flipped around as your defensive one.
The Hen House, I think their best player is a lefty. Cyberant is a lefty.
Interesting to see. I'm very curious what people pick because I mean I don't have any like stats, but green does all right. Like the thing is, being in the middle is not necessarily a bad thing.
Means you can end up with a lot of packs. So if you've got a lot of pack scoring people, or people who are really good at getting pack, then being in green might be a good spot.
So like people might at the start of the competition might not really like it, but when they start to figure out how to play it, then you can just start getting a bit better. So don't know. I haven't seen. Blue looks kind of nice to play out of. I've seen blue do really well at.
Blue seems very, like, pretty good at being defensive and then having a really good push defense. A lot of people have done that really well.
Yeah, I think that's probably its best advantage.
Yeah, it's interesting because blue and red seem identical, at least from the point of view of the map, but they seem to play quite differently. Maybe the mirrors do make a difference.
They definitely do. Like these small changes. So like where the reloaders are kind of makes a difference.
Yeah, that's true.
Small things like that, they just kind of change the flow. And it also depends how the barricades around green are kind of set up, where it might be easier actually for blue to kind of like box the middle base in, and so they can push more, whereas it's a bit more open for the red side, so they kind of naturally just get how it kind of plays. There's always like a natural way before people start breaking it with strategy.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. Come on, give me some colors. So who's actually on the hen house again? We'll just go through the teams.
House, we have Rooster, Cyberant, Sea Dog, Echo, and IBB.
Interesting. And dysfunctional?
Dysfunctional, we have Lycan, Four Eyes, Gumby, Goofy, and Sphinx.
And then the nameless. That'll be our first
Insomnia, Dicyopolis or Dika, Paxo, Big Boss Dog, and Nitro.
I think it'll be a really interesting game because my first thought, Dysfunctional have been playing super defensive and have been punished hard. I think every game we've watched today. I don't remember actually watching the hen house much.
This Rooster kept missing signing in.
Yes, they played 2 games while we're watching.
Because it was just sort of the tail end of the round robin. This particular.
Yeah, you might see more teams
today. There are a lot more games yesterday.
Now we're seeing the big ones though.
The hen house played only twice today already.
So it looks like in our first game, if you get third, you're eliminated. Just so you know.
Third and second looks like they get eliminated.
No, second goes to the 9 o'clock game.
Oh right, yes, of course.
Yep. First goes to 8:45, and then third is last.
Third is last.
They get the wooden spoon. Oh, okay.
We don't have a wooden spoon.
Wow, that's what it's called. It's just called a wooden spoon. You don't actually get one unless the comp decides. So I noticed that top of the ladder actually goes straight to the grand final. So we're playing a 2-track. the top team goes straight to the grand final. So Tragedy of Hamlet are in the grand final.
Already in, yeah. Good on
And
them.
then
Good effort.
And then you have 2 tracks. We start on the bottom track for the first game, which is why someone gets eliminated. Then after that, you kind of have a life, and you lose 2 games, you get eliminated. So you kind of want to win.
Yeah, you definitely want to win when it comes to the Cascade. Winning here probably matters a bit more than winning in the round robin.
Yeah, this is the kind of the fun end of the comp, because in the round robin, and you don't have a cascade here, which is also quite fun. You kind of play random teams. Your draw might be unfortunate, but then you get to the end of this ascension. You're playing teams close to where you are on the ladder, so everything is close. It's going to be
lots of close games.
Really close, and everyone's have their feelers out now. So we're in the finals. So everyone kind of knows what they're doing, what they plan. There's a little less lack of cohesion, coordination. Everyone kind of comes in a bit more planned. Obviously, this is not the highest level comp, and it's still handicapped. So there's sometimes a little bit of that kind of excitement with some weird movements and stuff. But it's going to be exciting to watch. That's for sure.
Yeah, it will be. It'll be a lot of fun. And having played everybody in the round robin, you can sort of start getting strategies for each individual team. So for example, Henhouse can be like, okay, we're playing against Dysfunctional. Here's how we get around Goofy and whoever.
And you know what strategies they've been playing, so you're like, all right, we're going to make a plan, because they're generally like Dysfunctional. They're playing really defensive, so we're going to counter it if they play that by doing this. You kind of have those chats coming up to it.
Yeah, I imagine these 3 teams will be strategizing, and then they'll get to pick colours. I suppose Henhouse will get to pick first.
Yeah, so I guess we're still just kind of waiting for that to be set up. I'm hoping they fix the map for us too, but
I hope so too.
That's the best part.
It'd be great to have the finals with the map.
Do I smell an Ivo?
You do.
Oh, hello.
G'day.
Hey, Ivo. Welcome.
Sorry, I wasn't just going to barge in.
Yeah,
I heard you join, but...
Don't introduce you. How you going?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. How are you guys?
Having a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's the go. So, I've strategically decided to have no idea about anything in this competition so that you guys can educate me as we go. And I've done that so that the people in the audience who might need to learn about what's going on will also be filled in. So
I started today, Ivo.
Big brain.
They had to get someone in real quick to help me because I had no idea what I was talking about.
Yeah, right.
Well, we had 2 Aussie commentators yesterday, and each one at a time, just sort of spitballing. We had Big Red yesterday morning, and then we had Drake yesterday, Arvo, or evening. But they were sort of just having fun with it. they were on their own.
I mean, that's the aim of the game, right? Like, just chill out, have fun.
Have fun.
Yeah, that's right. I wish I had more time to watch laser tag, but it seems like the comp's now always on the weekend, and obviously life sort of gets in the way. But it's been cool, watching for the last hour or so. You guys have done a great job.
Yeah, it's been nice having your commentary come up to ask a few questions. It's always a good time to just plug. If you're in chat, you want to say good day, ask any questions. See how Ibo's doing in life. Ask him.
100%, right? Like the chat's involvement makes the commentary job so much easier.
If I can answer questions, I know what to say.
So are we about to kick off like an ascension, are we? Finals?
Yeah, do you want me to... I'll show you the spreadsheet.
Yes, please. So I heard just before it's a handicap tournament?
Yeah, so there's a point cap. So everyone gets a rank with a assigned number of points, and the cap is 23 points. So each sort of different level, you have a certain number of points. So I think like A rank is 7 points or something like that, with E being 0. So you can have, you can stack your team with high ranked players, but then also you have to put a low ranking player on there to sort of balance it all out. Just makes the teams a bit more balanced.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like
Rather than
handicap systems are great for this type of tournament. The only place you come undone is when people are not handicapped appropriately,
yeah.
and given that it's a it's a world's format tournament, which not too many people I imagine have played, and then with all the international guys, are there any standouts for guys who might be, or sorry, guys or gals who might be underrated or overrated in terms of their rankings?
Oh, they usually are, and as people improve, they end up going up the ranks as well. Like E players always go up to D when after their first competition, just because they have some competition experience, and then as people improve, they'll gradually work their way up.
Yep. And so who decided on the ranks, or was it like a statistical?
There's a committee,
Okay.
the Laser Sports New Zealand committee, represented by both Auckland and Dunedin players. They sort of get together and analyse, I guess, after the competition, after invites has happened, they usually sort of get together and talk about each player, who deserves to go up, who's, playing on their level, or, some people did really well. Like last year we had an E player who went straight up to C because he was that good. He won solos. This is
Oh wow.
Rapid Laser, if you remember.
Wow.
He'd never played before, but he's so good. He's a natural at the game.
Who was it?
Uh,
Sorry, I didn't hear the alias.
Rapid Laser.
I haven't heard of them.
He's not. He was only played last year. He's not playing this year.
That's so annoying when you have these new, really good players,
Yeah.
and then they're just like, "Yeah, I'm too busy taking
he-
school seriously or something." We get that a lot in
he's-
WA.
He's
totally
from
the
Dunedin,
key.
and he comes and goes to our league nights that we've got. But he is quite young. I think he's still at school, so that probably limits a little bit being able to go places. But if he chooses to pursue it, he can become an absolute legend.
The key for like handicapped events has always been like who get the best value, like triple E player, right? Like
Yeah.
is-
Like
or-
find all
always
the.
been such a huge advantage. Is there bonus points for like multiple A's? Like
No, I don't think so.
okay, so it's not like the old WA model, like bonus points if you pair
Yeah,
up.
it basically you have 23 points, maximum. You can't go over it. You just fill it up with people who are worth a certain number of points, and just sort of gotta figure it out.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good fun.
It
Usually,
looks like,
the only problem is that I think it's just a test game.
is it a test game or is it our first Siege game? Might be a test game because they're all negative points.
Yeah, I think it might be a test game. But I was going to say the only usual problem is you get to these handicap events and then you find the best like low handicap player with like I don't know. Sometimes like an interstate player might come and they're really good, but they get graded a bit lower because they never play there. And usually like that
Yeah.
team ends up doing really well.
Yeah,
That's the same with the Aussies actually. All the Aussies usually get put down a grade because they're usually on different systems and whatnot. So, which may or may not be why Hobart's doing really well as competition.
Man, I've seen the opposite happen though. Like I've seen these type of tournaments where guys with historically good results, have done really well. So it's like, oh, they're automatically an A, but they're going into an arena they've never played before with no training on a different system on a different format, and it's like that they would struggle to keep up with the average home player sometimes. I've seen that. I've seen that in the past.
No, that's probably the reasoning behind them getting put down a rank or so.
Yeah,
I really hope that that they've fixed the live tracking,
The map?
because just watching it for the last hour or so has been so cool.
I love this new system. It's incredible and it's amazing to actually see where everybody is, and you can actually figure out what the teams are doing.
I feel like
Yeah.
Fibo, we've had a chat in like a podcast before where we're just talking about this exact thing is what we need.
Well, Popeyes and VDark have been working. Popeyes and VDark have been working on this for a very long time, and I'm so glad to finally see it in action.
So I think that, ultimately this is without getting carried away, I think if this was to be perfected, it'd almost be one of the most significant leaps in the game that we've ever seen.
Oh yeah, for sure.
it's unreal, and particularly like if you're looking at it from a competitive standpoint, I think that the amount of benefit that there is for the middle third and bottom third of the competition is amazing. Like they can go back and watch the top teams. I think a lot of the time, at Osnats, ZLTAC, and stuff like that, the top teams have been playing enough that they can generally paint a picture of 85% of the game anyway. Like they're probably pretly aware of a lot of what's happening, but
they've got a really good game sense.
Yeah,
which is a skill that you do develop, but it can take a while, and some people have more of affinity for it than others.
100%. But this would just absolutely turbocharge like the midfield, and I mean, there's definitely benefits across the board. Like every team would improve after being able to research the games this way. But
yeah, absolutely.
What it would do for the midfield is just like incredible, I think. And I'm almost
and
like,
even for like teaching new people as well, just sort of showing them here's what a strategy you can do. This is what people do, and you can see them actually go there and do that and how it works.
100%. I think I just put a little bit of caution to some players. It's like, don't necessarily, like if you're a new or upcoming player, don't necessarily try to completely replicate what you see like Husky do or what you see Wax do, or like big because
big guys who know what they're doing. And
yeah, that's right. Often there's a lot of those guys will make a lot of high risk plays that are highly calculated, and if you just try and replicate that without thorough understanding of the logic or like what's happening, the thought process before that, you might find you actually end up worse off. So I would suggest upcoming players play conservatively and until you can build up to those kind of like epic level type moves.
You can still teach basic maneuvers and strategies and stuff using the system, and just sort of like those who don't quite have a game sense yet, you can be like, okay, this is something that happens and this is what it looks like in the maze, and then you can go see what it looks like after the game.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's like this one the thing I would really like about this system when you're playing a competition is you can easily just, when something goes wrong in the game, sometimes it's really hard to pinpoint what actually happened to cause that.
Yeah.
And you might look at the arena and go, I don't know, they got the base and we got tagged and stuff. But you might be able to come back and say, actually, when this person reloaded, this person was meant to drop back a bit, but it didn't happen. And it was just like a split-second thing that, that's obviously a basic thing, but it could be way more complicated. And I think that
maybe
would be
you drop a base
super
because
nice.
you have to go reload, but you don't realise that until after, because somebody had to go reload and then suddenly there were less defenders for a moment, and then somebody else can get in and grab a base.
We have colours? No, we don't have colours. That's so sad.
Oh, green base has got colour now. The camera yesterday was black and white. I don't know if it's been like that all today, but I've just realised that it's got colours now, which is nice.
Did you get the spreadsheet, Arbo?
I did. I've only got one screen, so I've got to alt tab a little bit, but where are we at? I think just in the teams event now. So 2030. So we're in Ascensions, Henhouse, Dysfunctional, and Nameless. Is that correct?
That's right.
That is. Perfect. Looks like they've picked the colours. We've got Nameless and green, so that's the last pick I think that was. So nobody wanted green. So I think there's Henhouse and red. I think there's still Sea Dog. Looks like they've started now, I think.
You guys tell me, is there a base preference? Like, I'm not familiar with the arena at all.
So green quite often gets like caught in the middle, so quite often at the start of games, red and blue will push sort of in towards the middle, towards green. Red, I've noticed, quite often gets left empty, and then a lot of defensive plays happens in blue.
It's interesting because at face value, it's quite a symmetrical kind of.
Yeah, it is a very symmetrical. All the bases are the same except red's a mirror image, blue and green is rotated.
Yep.
There must be something at red base because I haven't played it this maze.
What I think it is the back door of blue. I think blue can push it really easily, and you're actually like coming up where you can have several angles on this like back left corner of green, and you can get into the base really easily from there, which you don't have so much from red side.
That's a good point. Yeah, there's two doors on the blue side of green versus one door on the red side of green.
Looks like we've lost the map, which is sad.
Yeah.
Oh no, I need the map. I don't know. None of
I
this,
don't
Yeah,
know
where
the
is
arena.
everything?
none of this stuff means anything to me. I don't know the players, man.
We don't even have the players' names at the moment, so
Oh, these
Oh
are
yeah,
the
none of them are logged
standby
in.
names.
the pack names.
So I want to know, like, when I first started playing laser tag, right? The pack names for each team, there were these kinds of names, but they generally, unless they've changed color, they generally had like all the yellow. All the yellow packs or all the green packs now would be like they'd be Transformers, and then all the blue packs would be like GI Joe characters. But this is just like random. It's like Pac-Man and Iron Man are on the same
I
team.
love that. It's because you can change the color of the packs.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes
So the
sense.
pack can be any color. You can change the
So
color.
there is the Hogwarts team because I can see Malfoy,
Yeah.
Albus,
There's Snape and Voldemort.
Voldemort OP.
I see Obi-Wan there too. I imagine he would be pretty.
Now, what is
Oh.
going on with this line graph at the bottom here?
I think they're having a few technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Word
The
here.
game looks like it's playing, so
Yeah.
Somebody,
it's
it
gonna
looks
be
like.
difficult to offer commentary on the game itself while the
Well, I think
score-
green was nameless, right? So they're actually got that early red base.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah,
their
they have
bottom
a.
team coming into
I
this.
can
This is really good.
see. I can see Insomnia just run out of green, or Insomnia is in the very left-hand corner.
My guess.
Looks
this
like
stuff
Paxo is in red camera there. He's probably waiting for the base to come back on.
I reckon
And
blue's
Insomnia's
four eyes
just
this
come
team.
back in. Insomnia's just come into red there.
It looks like green's just hit their second base of the game, so they're obviously off to a pretty good start.
I wonder if red is dumped because green seems to be holding red.
Maybe I don't even know which team's which. I know we discussed it before, but it's sort of
It's hard
fallen
to.
out of my mind.
Yeah, I can't remember. All I remember is whoever was the last first pick, which was nameless, were given green.
Yeah.
Yep,
I don't
yep.
know who.
A lot of action in green at
House.
the moment.
Picked first.
So I understand that most of the New Zealand invite tournaments have been held on world settings, and we're
Yep.
playing on Helios.
Yep.
How does that go? Like I've never played a worlds format on Helios before, and I just wonder, like, with the hand cannons and with the timing, like I feel like what makes the worlds format is the whole stun thing and the advantage for the active player. So I just wonder how it feels, playing.
It's kind of hard for me to compare because I haven't actually played on any other systems. I've played on Helios Pro 2 and I've played on Nexus, all on either Worlds or Nat settings. So I haven't really been overseas to Australia and played with any of the different packs or the different timings or all of that. But there is an advantage for active players. There is like a second also
on Helios.
on Helios.
Okay.
There's like a second, like a split second that you can get when the pack makes the noise to activate, and then there's a time gap to when the person can shoot.
Yep.
So you can keep someone down if you shoot them in that small gap of time.
Wonder if that's been changed to try and emulate Helios.
Yeah,
or
because I've heard that there's been mods to
Yeah.
Helios to do that, because I've always found on Helios, like the deact, like on Helios it's probably like a 50-50, right? But going from Nexus, where the active player has a significant advantage, it kind of feels like
it's at least like that on Helios 2, because that's what I've got my home maze
yep.
in Dunedin. And there is like a split second where you can black pack someone and keep the advantage of being up.
There was definitely like an advantage to the alive player on Helios Pro, but it was tiny. Like, doubles were the most common thing because the timing was so difficult.
I think it's still pretty close. It's been a while since I've played Pro, but I think it's still pretty close on 2, where you can black pack someone. I mean, I've never been particularly great at dueling.
We've
but
got players.
We do, exciting, and it looks like the worm is functional.
Yeah, they reset it while we were talking.
Yeah, it's starting from the halfway point, but we got a game.
We have a
Oh,
game.
Awesome.
It's good to see Goofy playing laser tag again. Haven't seen him in the scene for a couple of years, but really good player. Yeah, good to see Goofy back. Good to see Jace playing.
Yeah, and they're actually
Cyrix
doing a lot better
is-
already because they were really struggling, playing way
Yeah.
too defensive in these last few games we watched today. But they've come out obviously ahead on bases now, so they've made some sort of adjustment.
Cyrix says Helios Pro has a setting where you can turn on to emulate the Nexus lockout. And they say it's on Helios 2 as well, but we don't play it at Ziltec.
Right. So is the Helios 2 at Zeltac going to be basically next Helios 1 timing? Is that what is being suggested?
I'm not sure, but Helios 2 is
I
at
believe so.
Hobart, and which will be.
Yeah,
I doubt they'd play with the lockout. That would make no sense, right?
I think
no idea.
if we delve more into advantages for players, right, it really depends on like if you're attacking or defending. So, like for example, a double as an attacker is far more advantageous than a double as a defender, right? So in a system that allows a lot of doubles, that sort of I believe that favors the attacking side because you're drawing defenders out of bases. You're pushing through more reloads, and as an attacker, a reload is a lot more easy to manage because you can sort of do it at any time. But as a defender, the reload is the scariest thing, right? So,
yeah, as a defender, if you have to go reload, you risk losing a base.
Yeah, 100%. Dunedin plays with lockout on, but I believe Hobart is not going to currently run that, right? Okay.
Yeah, we
With
do
the
play
World,
with
they play
lockout
with
on.
lockout. That
And
makes
it's not
sense.
going to be played at Hobart? That'll be interesting.
Yeah, so I guess for anyone who's watching the stream who's not familiar with what the lockout is, and it's been a long time, so I could be wrong. Please feel free to correct me. But my understanding of it is that essentially there's a point in time where if you're reactivating and you pull the trigger a little bit too early, you sort of essentially lock yourself out for a period of time, which gives obviously a huge advantage to the active player, right? Because once you come up, there's and we're talking half a second here, but half a second in laser tag is an eternity.
It is.
Yeah, so the attacking player has a big advantage.
It's frustrating when you trigger lock yourself too. So it's when you pull the trigger too early and the phaser doesn't fire, and then you have to wait for the time to reset.
Yeah.
Before you can shoot again.
And imagine that on a one-shot per setting format as well, like one shot per second.
So if you trigger lock
more
yourself,
punishing.
that could just be a deac for you because somebody will get you first.
Yeah.
So you got to get the timing really right. You got to be really good at timing.
I don't think it matters what pack system you're playing on. You've got to be good at timing no matter what, right?
Yeah, that's
Just
true.
different.
But there's a little bit more to it when you've got locking on or the lockout on. Because if you do it too early, there's a consequence.
Getting onto the game, it's looking real close towards the last few minutes. We got blue with 5 bases and green just behind them, 4 bases, but only 2k behind. So it's really come down to the end here. It's been a pretty defensive game, 5, 4, and 2. I think red, unfortunately, might be getting eliminated in this game.
Yeah, unfortunately, they fell behind a little bit, but the green and blue have really picked up a few bases.
This is double knockout, I believe, too. So you really
single.
Oh, a single knockout.
Just the one. Yep. There's another game.
Oh, and then the
the
following
second place
game.
would go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just because it's the first game.
No,
It'd be a bit mean.
No, yeah, so it looks like the red team might be knocked out, but staying in the top
denies
track.
around.
Yeah, you can see Flores has been 2-shot denied. IBB's 2-shot denied. It's not too many. Oh, I'm Big Boss
There's a
Dog.
few. There, I think probably doesn't count the denies that happened before the point in time the worm started again.
You're
Yeah,
so
Because
smart.
it also doesn't count the bases, because both Diciopolis and Paxo have a base each, but it doesn't say how many shots have put into it.
I'll just keep my mouth shut. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was like, I don't know how to read this then. Like, a red winning, what's happening? Oh, are the scores accurate though? Like blue are winning.
I think
Yeah,
the scores are
they should
accurate.
be.
They're probably the most accurate thing. I was getting really close between
Yeah.
blue and green though.
Oh, Gumby is putting shots in. If he gets this, that he'll put himself into a good. Yeah, Gumby takes
Oh,
red
there you
though.
go.
We're heading into the
5K
last minute of
minute
the
left.
game.
I was
Yeah.
up 30 seconds.
Yeah, last 30
Oh, it
seconds.
might be. Yeah, the worm looks like a
Which means
like
they
a
kind of need to
different-
get 2 bases.
Green's
different
packing
colours.
alright. If they can get a base, which might
How
be a tall order.
Method? How many games have you seen in your time, particularly in a final series like a System D or Ascension, where the winning team has a player with a negative score?
I don't think I've ever seen it.
I don't think I've ever
No.
seen it either. You know,
Oh, there you go.
Oh, but we might not see it.
They got a base at the end.
and we still haven't seen it apparently.
Oh my god. What's that, 100 and 200 points?
Not a lot between them.
Oh, buzzer beater base take.
Yeah, was
It
that
is
big?
like-
Was that Big Boss Dog or?
Yes, it was.
I think
It's
so,
clutch.
yeah. Big Boss Dog came at the end there.
Clutch.
Pretty
That was
good.
really close to the end of the game there.
Pretty
I'm
impressive.
glad he wasn't
getting
timed
that.
tonight.
They're versing, Goofy and Four Eyes. They managed to take a win over them. I think that's a really good result for them. They all coming in at last on the ladder coming into this, so they've actually now jumped up
Yeah.
at least
come
2
up.
spots.
They've probably guaranteed
At least
themselves a
one
couple
spot.
of spots there. This
No, I
must be a tough comp. If a team with like Goofy, Four Eyes, and Lycan are playing towards the bottom end,
Yeah, there's
this
a
must-
lot
this
of good
must be a
players.
pretty competitive event.
There's a lot of good players spread out across all the teams.
Yeah, I also feel like both, like in particular, Goofy and Four Eyes, their playstyles would benefit from a 1 shot per second. Like the way those guys play, you've got excellent timing. Four Eyes lefty, sneaky. Like I feel like 1 shot per second suits them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a lot of the really good New Zealand players that we haven't seen in a while. Still, kicking around in the New Zealand comp. You'll see some old names you haven't seen in a while, I think, Arbo.
Well,
Is
Gumby is that Gumby the Gumby, like the tall bloke?
He's a big bloke, yeah. I don't know if we're thinking of the same people.
I know
but-
there was a New Zealand Gumby years ago. Big tall fella, brown hair, had a beard.
Name rings a bell, yeah.
Sounds about right. I played with him in 2019. I played doubles with him, despite having never met him, and we made it to finals, which I was really proud of, and came not last in finals.
Was that in Invitationals, the 2019?
Yeah, and invites. Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry. 'Cause I-
No.
Right. So, do those results stand? Can we confirm? Have we had our first
Yeah.
team?
They've been put into the spreadsheet now.
Yep, so the Hen House, fortunately, have been eliminated in 10th place.
Wow, and they were the highest seeded team going in.
They came in at 8th, so they'll be a little disappointed, I think.
Kiwi
think-
Jimmy says there's only one Gumby.
Only one.
Only one. There can only be one.
No, no. Maybe it's just the old head of me, but there was a Victorian player named Gumby many years ago. It was pretty good.
Yeah, actually, I've heard that name from a Victorian player. But it was alright. Not important.
Cyrix says, because teams are capped, I think we will see some different and interesting things coming into Ascensions in terms of scores and strats.
I think also we haven't seen a cascade this comp, so the round robin and how the results come out might be slightly skewed onto who's actually a better team or not. A cascade usually fixes the issues that come out of a round robin, where just seeding who you end up playing, when you play them, who you play them with, just kind of change where you might come in the ladder. So you might have been a bit higher than you should be. Cascade normally solves it out. We don't have that, so now finals is kind of maybe the point where it might solve those kind of.
But the Ascension does it a little bit. It's only like one game, though, to prove your point, and then you've got to do it in the next game, and then the next game.
Yeah, like one game can can always go wrong, kind of thing, and that's one way I read here.
I think the significant factor is base equality. If all bases are equal, then like maybe not. But when there's a significant base inequality, that color choice is it's very profound. And I don't like that personally. Like I like rewarding teams that do well, but we've seen mazes in the past where the win rate of certain bases is just astronomical.
Yeah. So it looks like we've got Nameless is back on green. We've got Space Groove on blue and Troubleshooters on red.
Yeah, let's go troubleshooters. So they picked red. So Space Groove were on blue?
Yep.
So they picked blue, and
Yeah,
then...
and that's the team with 4 players because they have an
Oh,
injured
wait.
player.
No, it looks like
Space.
Dysfunctional actually made it through this game.
Well, that was Tagora from
It looks like... I think there
Base Groove
actually
just
might have
making
been
a
an
face
after-game
camera.
term on green.
Oh, was that?
Because on the spreadsheet,
Oh,
they've
yeah,
got
look.
1,000 points less. So I actually think
Well, the
Dysfunctional
Nameless
actually won
are
that
in the
game.
maze.
Are they? Wow.
In
I'm
the
so
green
confused.
camera. That's the Nameless there.
What's going on?
What's
I
happening?
need team names, man. I don't know what's going on.
Just give me a mini-map with pretty lights, please.
The guys in the green, that's the Nameless. They're
Oh,
mostly a Dunedin team.
Okay, so there's something weird going on in the spreadsheet then.
Yeah, not sure.
When do we start getting the refs running in like, you're not supposed to be in here?
Somebody
Guys,
come in.
I'm gonna
guys,
take 5. I need a quick break. I'll be right back.
Yeah, no worries.
go for it.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess Nameless are in. I don't know.
So they're in the maze.
Maybe I shouldn't have called it out. Ooh. Come on.
We got the map back. Hey. Hopefully it's working now.
Oh. Yeah, okay. Because you can see here the Nameless have the highest score from the last game there.
They won the game.
But it looks like
there has been
it looks like on the
I wonder
looks like
if
they have 1,000 points less on.
I wonder if they missed the button, and then the sheets automatically filled it out. Like, cause 6 is next to 7, right? If they just miss.
Yeah, but it's also
typing it in.
exactly 1,000. So it's like, have they been termed after the game? I don't know.
Oh,
Oh, look,
looks like
green's
green is
empty
empty now.
Oh no, I think
Oh,
they
no.
just got after game
Oh, that'll
termed
be
and they left it.
heartbreaking.
Oh.
Oh, that'll be heartbreaking.
So the Nameless actually didn't win that game, and it's a shame Arbo's left because now we can say we actually saw someone win an Ascension game with one of our players been negative.
Negative points. Or you can tell him that when he gets back.
We'll have to, yeah. Dysfunctional. So there must have been an after game term on the Nameless.
Yep, someone's
which
just
took a
messaging
while
me,
to be communicated.
telling me that there was an after game term on Nameless.
So annoying, actually, that they actually went all the way into the arena, because that means they probably were given a colour and stuff. So.
Yeah, they were given
a little bit
green.
of a messy, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, that would be so heartbreaking, just finding out.
That would be. That's just.
Oh, well, I guess we're just waiting for them to now swap the other team into the arena. It's a bit annoying having these back-to-back games on Ascension, because you don't have time to really think or plan or discuss anything.
You can have a quick chat while you're in the base, but
Yeah, but you can't if you
has
don't
to
know.
be organised and know who you're playing with and have pre-thought about strategies for each team.
Doesn't happen if you thought you lost.
No,
They've probably gone out for like a bit of water outside having a chat, and that's why they can't find them.
Because they're in the game after.
Well, they would be like outside, maybe having a chat, drinking some water,
Maybe.
thinking they have a game break. You know, that's why they're taking a while to get in.
Alrighty, I'm back. So the wrong team was in the maze, is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So there was an after-game term on the Nameless, and that has meant that Dysfunctional won the game, meaning that we did see a game won in the Ascension ladder with a negative points player.
Right on.
How exciting!
You can see Gumby in the green camera there. Is that the bloke you're talking about?
Green. It looks like it. I mean, I can only see the back of the head, but tall, brown hair, beard. Yep.
That's very green hair we've got from Lycan at the moment. I only just noticed that. Green for the green team. Oh, they're all pointing at the camera.
Oh, dance for me, boys.
That's beautiful for us.
Someone termed that man for jumping before the game. If you can get caught after the game, why not before, right?
I mean, caught after the game means that it was actually in the game, but you just couldn't get to them.
Well, if you come out of the game, saying some profanity, you can get done still. I think that happened before at the Nationals.
Oh, I'm almost certain that it's happened at one point.
definitely should have. Things I've heard coming out of some games. Oh god, it looks like this game's starting, so
So not an elimination game, but important nonetheless. We got troubleshooters playing out of red, dysfunctional playing out of green.
Red is already in green and taking, I
Yeah.
think.
Okay.
I don't think the map's working, unfortunately.
No, everybody's in the corner.
Everyone's playing law over there. At least the scoreboard still works.
I actually like this scoreboard. Is it part of the
Yes,
live tracking?
It is, yeah.
What can someone explain to me all the coloured and then grey dots just below the team name? What's that?
So the dot represents the location of the player. It's not as easy to see because they're all in the corner, which is the default position, I guess.
Are you talking about the scoreboard? Do you mean the squares under the...
the squares?
Like
the little
troubleshooters?
squares, sorry, yeah.
Oh, the little squares represent the bases and how many shots are put into the base. And then when it gets the full colour or it blocks out as the proper colour, that's should represent that they have the base. It's not the most accurate system and doesn't always count them correctly, but you can see that Moldy has just put 6 shots into red and gotten it.
Yeah, but those dots like directly under the name, you can see how like base group have those
so
10
the
blue.
big dot represents the player and the colour, and then the little dots underneath those
bases for and against.
represent the
Base group
bases
have dropped 2 to red.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yep.
I like that. I like
That's
that.
really cool.
Yeah, so you can see what players have what bases.
Yeah, and it's I guess it's intuitive because like in the 5x3 you can sort of make it out with the team score's final number and by looking at the individual players' bases, but ultimately in the team game the base count is a team thing, right? Like it doesn't really, it does matter who has the bases, but it doesn't. This makes it easier to track, offset bases and things like that. Also, I guess if you're looking at it, you can kind of see the order in which teams decide to take their bases, which makes for a bit of interesting commentary.
Yeah, you can see who's gone to get what base, but you can also see that just by physically seeing where the dot is when the map works. But you can see that people are taking the base. You can see that there's been shot when the bases are active, when they're deactive. You can see when the players are active and deactivated, when they're stunned, and when they need to reload.
Is that Fred? Like Fred?
It's
Play?
the Fred.
The Fred.
The Fred, yes. Playing with a pretty fun-looking team as well.
Yeah, man, 100%.
I'm not sure who Geestricity is, but probably a newer player that bring along for the
I don't think
ride.
anybody knows who Geestricity is, but it may be the E player that they've got on their team. He is the sort of the lowest starter rank.
Yeah, unsurprising to see Moldy start the game dominant, 222% tag ratio. He's already at
Moldy
8K.
has 2 bases already.
Yeah, and then I think that's a great sign for Space Groove because I've played many games against Moldy and he's in his element when he's got his bases and all he has to worry about is just destroying people. Just
They really need him.
Just going into a painful spot as a left-hander and dueling. Like he can pick his spots now. He can go, I might go find Four Eyes and give him hell, or just take the best player off another team out of the equation. I always found that was probably Moldy's strength, right? Like
you can see Four Eyes and red camera there.
Going back to the 5x3. Red slight lead.
Four Eyes has put 8 shots into red.
That is not the amount of shots you want to put into red.
It's not ideal.
Yeah, you can see that in his score though. It's dropped to only 3.5k of one base, so it's gotten a lot of tags, but it's just been a bit expensive getting that red base. I think Sphinx, I noticed, got a termination as well. Their pack lit up yellow in the corner, so just a random thing I noticed. Yeah, that's why they're on a big negative score.
Oh dear. Sphinx has copped a couple of terms this competition.
Strict refs in New Zealand, I reckon. Taught by Hatman probably.
Hatman, Moldy, them, the Cobras. They're sort of pretty onto it, the reffing.
Speaking of the Cobras, I saw today Cobras are coming back to ZLTAC.
They are.
Oh,
Good.
that's so good. That's so
I've
good.
missed them the last few years.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I think the last couple of years the Cobras have been sort of spread out across a couple of different development teams. Like Popeyes
I think it was also a timing thing. Like they elected to prioritize Worlds a couple of years ago over ZLTC, and then that COVID thing happened, and then
COVID was horrific.
Still waiting for my Worlds deposit.
a
Might
blue
get code conducted off this planet.
a blue actually playing with 4.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are. Their last player is injured.
Oh no, that's terrible. That's the worst.
It is.
Yeah. I think it's a rolled ankle, and we all know how that feels.
Oh,
Yeah.
unlucky.
It's a badly sprained ankle.
Yep.
They've been to see the doctor, so they should be okay now. They just can't play.
You know, it'll heal. It just needs a few weeks, if not like depending on how bad it is. A month.
Yeah.
Kinda, at least.
Oh, she sent me a picture. She's got a moon boot on. She should be fine.
Oh, okay.
So Red have got back in front. What do we got? Sorry, I've lost
Blue
my
and
vision.
green
I'm
are pretty
looking
close, actually. Well, there's a lot of terms going out this game. I've seen 3 now.
You saw another term?
Yeah, Gumby got one, and Geestricity got one earlier.
Keeping it interesting.
Well, warnings rather than terms.
Yeah, but everyone's got
Very
4
loose with that
bases.
term.
I think Red probably just, they're getting away with it. Not many denials.
So we'll be
or
very
no denials at
careful with
all.
their base takes. Oh, Four Eyes has got 8 shots to Red. So
They're doing something we kind of discussed earlier where they focus Blue a lot, but I think Blue might have dumped.
Well, they've cycled.
I'm getting the
Blue
vibe
now.
Blue's dumped.
Yeah, they must have, because they've cycled. Red just cycled Blue, and now they've
Which
got to
means
go back to Green.
Green probably have another 2 Blue bases to take if it is empty. And you
Yeah.
can see
Well,
Green's just casually
Blue-
walking in there.
Blue was the 4-player team, so I'm not surprised that they sort of decided to put a lot of effort on attack.
Yeah,
It seems to be doing okay for them, but it's... Oh no, Jono's come back and denied someone.
yeah. I think it's super high risk. I mean, dumping at the best of times is high risk, but
Yeah.
as a 4-person team, if you dump, you can only get 8 bases.
Yeah, that's true.
I think
Basically, give yourself a 3 base buffer with a
Yeah,
5 base handicap.
I wonder
if you're playing with 4, the timing of the dump is critical, right? Or like a dump and go
Yeah.
home. I think as
Yeah.
a play, I don't think an outright dump is.
I
the
wonder
play.
if Moldy has done his thing that he's done a few times as comp and sent out the other 3 players, and then he himself, now that he has got both bases, have come back to float around in space.
Yeah, potentially pick up that cheeky denial.
He did get a deny on Lycan earlier, I think. Oh, maybe not. I thought he came in and got them. Maybe it was just didn't quite make it in time, but I think he's probably floating around somewhere to get points.
Really good
Maybe
take
not
by
at Blue
Fred though,
base now,
getting that.
because Four Eyes has
getting
just
that
got
green.
Blue.
Yeah, I think Blue's never going to have anyone ever again now. Everyone's done. So
So I can see Traitor in red base. Hopefully we'll pick that up.
oh, green. Ooh, a lot of people.
Yeah, I think the play by Blue here is it's a play for second, right? Like you dump and then try and just like push another team out of the game. Like, I don't know that a dump to play for the win as a team of 4 is there. But if you can dump, get up early, and then decide a team that you don't want to win, you could squeeze out a second, and they're really not far off it. They're only a couple of bases and they'll be there.
I think Traitor struggled to get a base.
Yeah, but I agree with you, Ivo. I think dumping off the bat with 4, you're almost never going to have a chance to win.
Well, the math just doesn't add up, right? Like,
Yeah.
you open the game up. If the other 2 teams are switched on, they're going to go, cool, we can exchange, right? Like, we can all trade bases, but we're
can all
both
trade,
going to
but
get
you
more.
still get more.
Yeah, like,
What would
Yeah, and
you
you're
do
giving away
in this
5 bases.
situation, Ibo, if you had 4 players?
I've been there, and what I did was lose.
Sunny Coast Green at 3, we won a game before in the Ascension. Oh, the system D.
So
That was pretty good.
Launceston, we had 5 and like we lost a player for very important part. We lost Cans for I think it was the tail end of the second Cascade and the start of finals. And what sucked about it was we lost, but only just every game. Like you would look at it and go, man, I can't believe how well they did with 4 players
You got
against
the
these
map
top
back.
teams. But a loss is a loss, right?
It looks like all 4 blue people are around red base. I think they've just dumped to them trying to get it. And Trader's been really trying to get in there and get that red base, but he's just struggled a little bit.
We got
Close.
Tassie Villain in the chat. Better off 4-man defending than dump late game. I sort of tend to agree. I think if I mean, four is tough, right? Regardless, because every team's just got a number advantage, particularly in a Worlds format where 1 shot per second numbers makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Try and defend, send your super awesome superstar out and hope that they can just destroy people and score 14k in a low base game. That 14k means more. As a I guess like a score ratio, like try and keep this overall scores down, and just hope that the individual players can score well. But I don't have much other advice for winning with 4 other than pray.
It's difficult.
Yeah,
Oh,
the only
Trader finally
strategy.
got his red base there. Right
Yeah,
at
it's
the end
really
of the
close
game.
this last 20 seconds. You can see troubled shooters are only a few hundred points ahead of dysfunctional, about 500, and it just flipped
Really
before.
close.
Last 10 seconds. We'll see if a base starts getting hit.
Oh, they're all over green. Yeah, it was really close between green and red, and unfortunately not quite enough for Space Groove.
Oh, it's so close. 100 points. Oh. Good game by troubleshooters.
Yeah, well played. Interesting. Strategically, troubleshooted looks like they attacked the team with 4, like early on. I mean, both teams obviously were able to cycle Space Groove. Yeah, what do you do? 100 points.
No, a couple of people didn't actually cycle them. The BMW and Geestricity didn't actually pick up the
Nah, I
blue
think they got
base.
them. Their restarting didn't work. Because they've got 1 base each, and I think they got blue. I had to guess.
Oh,
But yeah. It's probably because they got restarted so many times trying to fix it. That it hasn't
maybe.
worked out properly.
Oh, the system here is not super accurate for counting base shots anyway.
I think just to hit back on like the 4-man team, the only real thing I've found success of is you defend really hard, make hope the game is really slow and the other teams don't like trade bases with each other, and you leave like 2 minutes left and you just dump and you bounce between the two and just pick up as many bases as you can, and you hope they get panicked with your empty base that they fight over it, and you have a chance. It's not a good one, but you have a chance to leapfrog
Yeah, ideally
over
you
them.
want them fighting over your empty base so you can get your other bases easier, and then once you have them, you can come back to defend.
Yeah, otherwise the only real chance you have is to just be like 3 times better than the players you're versing.
Yeah, it's interesting because if you over defend, then as a 4-man team, then the other 2 teams with 5 will exchange more, and they'll both mutually benefit from that. So it's almost like you kind of have to be juicy.
Tasty.
You have to be tasty to those teams, but somehow also defend well, and then back your 4 players to have 150% tag ratios and be worth, have that extra player worth of points.
Yeah. It's just a bit hard overall.
A lot of things go well.
Yeah, funny that. If you have less players, you need to be really good.
So it looks like our next game will have Dysfunctional, Space Groove, and the Nameless.
Dysfunctional playing 3 games in a row?
Yes.
That sucks.
But they won't be playing the game after that.
They're either eliminated or they play the game after.
The next game is
none of
higher
these
up
teams
the
are
ladder.
eliminated.
The bottom 2 are.
The first place goes on to the next one. And the other 2
in the next
are
game,
eliminated.
sorry. Yeah.
Yep. The
So
game after that.
Dysfunctional, Space Groove, and the Nameless.
Yes.
I just want to shout out Minty from that last game. Really solid performance. Looks like he was defending for the most part. He did lose 2 shots into green, but 7.5k with 141% tag ratio. That's like the ultimate that's the ultimate role player like stat line, right? Like, just shout out to Minty. Yeah.
Yep. It's a really good game. Even like the top 4 on their team all having over 100% tag ratio. It's usually a really good sign that the team's kind of controlling the arena, and
particularly in a handicapped tournament, like extracting value out of your lower ranked players. Oh, I got Ninja in the chat. How do I become good? I
it's only
don't.
asking you, so it's something you're good.
No, not good, but
Not good.
but I'm good at telling people how to not be bad, I guess.
Not bad is reasonable.
Ninja, how do I be good? I mean, you're pretty good already, I guess.
For what I hear, you're pretty good.
Who's Ninja?
Ninja. It's Ninja. Yeah,
Ninja.
yeah, no, exactly.
Ninja.
Ninja.
Even I know Ninja. Or of Ninja. I've never met Ninja.
It's alright. You're not missing out on much.
Yeah, he wasn't good until he started coming to WA. Sure, he left to Queensland, but that's not important.
Pretty sure he didn't win solos until he came to Queensland.
Let me hear you say, get louder.